Hello everyone, welcome back to Shining Brighter. My name is Nick, and today we're going to talk about second chances. There was a time in my life when I believed that everybody deserved a second chance, and with some caveats, I still believe that, but my opinion on the matter has definitely changed, and those changes came from going through everything that I went through the last 3 years, working on myself, doing the shadow work, realizing my worth and my value, learning to respect myself and setting healthy boundaries. And second chance is not so much for everybody anymore. So I'm going to do my best to kind of try and break this down and explain how I mean it, so it's not too confusing. But before I did all the work on myself, I was a believer in the carte blanche second chance. I wanted to believe that, inherently everybody was good and wanted to do right by you if they were given a second chance. And maybe it was a matter of them not believing that they were doing anything wrong by you. And maybe that's because you were allowing this kind of stuff like I used to. Wanting to see the good in people, wanting to believe that if you gave them grace and forgiveness that they would understand, and eventually they'd be like, you know what, I'm not treating this person right, I need to do better. Maybe if I talk to them and ask, maybe I'll get a second chance. Unfortunately, second chances turn into third, fourth, fifth, etc. And it never gets better. And the reason it never gets better is because you never learn to set boundaries with these people. And without healthy boundaries in place and enforced, they're just not going to get the message that what they're doing isn't okay. So you have to take responsibility for yourself and your actions, what you've allowed, and that's your part. But for their part, if they were truly your friend, they wouldn't be treating you that way in the first place. And they would see that their behavior was wrong as well, taking advantage of your good nature, because that's basically what it comes down to. And even if they don't believe what they're doing is, really harmful or terrible, the fact that they were treating you any less than you deserve, giving you less respect, being disrespectful, period, not showing you that they value you or your friendship or your love and your commitment, whatever the case may be, that's their part. And that's what they need to work on. And like I said, unfortunately, it just seems these days that scenario never plays out, never works out right. So now, my stance on second chances, like I said, has changed. Here's the thing about second chances now. If you have wronged me, treated me poorly, disrespected me, taken me for granted, after I have laid down my boundaries with you, told you what I will and will not accept, and I have shown you, nothing but respect and care and friendship, but yet after all of that, you have gone and done those things that I said were a no-go, well, you don't get that second chance with me anymore. And that's not to be mean, and it's not to try to bring anybody down. It's just to say, hey, I set the ground rules right at the beginning, and I told you what I wouldn't tolerate and what would happen, but you did it anyway. That tells me a lot about who you are and what you were expecting to get from this connection. And it's not something I want. Nobody should want that. So now that second chance with me is gone. I won't go back. It doesn't matter what you want to give me for a reason, because no matter what your reasoning is, the fact remains that you still did whatever you did to disrespect me, hurt me, treat me like an option, put me to the side, whatever it was, and it's different for everybody and it's different in every scenario, whether it's family, friendship, work-related, romantic relationships. But again, if I told you up front, here's the line, don't cross it, and you cross it, then I don't care what your reason was, honestly, because you knew and you did it anyway, thinking that, either I was a pushover or that you could just, apologize and, blow some smoke up my butt, whatever, and try to smooth it over. No. Those days are long gone. And I don't regret these decisions, because when you get to that point and you stop giving people the chance to hurt you, you'll find that those people will be out of your life and you'll only be surrounded by good people who don't do those things to you. Now, another caveat to this no second chances, hard and fast, you're not coming back. There's no second chance with me. That never changes. But I will hope for your sake, because, I don't wish anybody ill. I do believe in karma, and I do want everybody to grow and break the cycles of toxic behavior, because otherwise we're never going to progress. I will wish for you to get a second chance to open your eyes, pull your head out of your butt, learn your lessons, and treat people better and become the better version of yourself. That's a second chance that I wish for everybody. But again, you don't get to have it with me. You're out of my energy, you're out of my world. But that doesn't mean that I want you to suffer. For whatever reason, whatever trauma, whatever behavior, whatever learned behavior, whatever the case may be that made you, do the things that you did and act the way that you did and become the person that you are. I don't know what those things were unless you told me. And nobody can fix you. You have to do the work yourself. But if nobody calls you out on it and nobody puts their foot down and says, sorry, I told you not to cross this line and you did, you're gone, then that person never learns. And if nobody ever learns, nobody ever grows. Nobody ever grows, cycle continues, and they just latch onto other people and cause the same stress and pain and heartache to those people. So let's try and avoid that. Let's all try to do what we can constructively and positively to break these cycles. And I talk a lot about breaking cycles because that's what most behavior is cyclical, until karma kicks you square in the eyes and you finally go, oh wait a minute, I better stop doing this. So again, that's the thing about second chances. I don't give them out like I used to. If you choose to disrespect me after I give you the boundaries and you do it anyway, no matter what reason you give me, I don't care. And I don't mean that as being mean or cold. It just doesn't matter, because regardless of what your reason was, like I said, knowing what I told you and still choosing to cross those boundaries, that's not a mistake. That is a choice. That is a decision. And it's one you made consciously, knowing what I told you. So now you live with it. And it's a shame because, you know, I had a lot of hope for a lot of people to see that they were behaving poorly, treating me poorly, taking me for granted, treating me like an option. But I can't give that anymore. I don't have the time or the energy nor the effort to waste on somebody who doesn't see the good that I'm offering and who doesn't want what's best for me, because that's what I was giving for them. I was seeing, you know, what they had to offer, and I was seeing what I believed their potential was, and I was giving 100% to try and help that person learn and grow. But if it's not reciprocated, there is no second chance. It's that simple. So, as always, this is my perspective. This is how I operate now. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with me or that I'm 100% right or 100% wrong. It's just my perspective, and I would love to hear from you guys, to see your perspectives, because, like I've said many times, I don't have all the answers. I'm just sharing what I've learned, what I practice, but I'm always open to learning from someone else, because nobody can do it all alone. Nobody has all the answers, and the only way we all improve is if we all help each other. So, as always, know your value, know your worth, respect yourselves. I see you all for who you really are, and I truly do love you all for it. And I hope this gave you something to think about, because everyone deserves respect. Nobody is better or more important than anyone else. And if you're one of the people that are being disrespectful or mistreating people or crossing boundaries, stop and think if you'd like them to do that to you. Pretty sure the answer is no. So that is it. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.